Well, welcome, boys and girls, to Clark the Shark's Funhouse of Reviews right here on the Clark the Shark Show. 1-800-449-8255, the most fabulous reviewer, talk radio, weirdo guy on the internet, the infamous Dr. Shark. Where today, on my fabulous show, I'm going to be talking about just this incredible album here, you guys. None other than the amazing Rolling Stones, Beggars Banquet, 1968. And wow, what an album this was. What a year 1968 was, you guys. An incredible year for music where a lot of bands suddenly grew up and were older, literally just like that overnight. Now, this album is a total reinvention of the Rolling Stones. Keith Richards once said in an interview, in January 1967 or February, you had Between the Buttons, and then which sounded like a 1960s Rolling Stones album. And then you had Their Satanic Majesty's Requests, which is a really weird, interesting album. Me, Clark the Shark, I was a little torn for many years on that album. And then one day it struck me upside the head how great Their Satanic Majesties was and is. But this album here, Rolling Stones' Beggars Banquet, was not an arrival album. No, sir, you guys. This album comes out of nowhere, and it's a complete and total makeover of the Stones. It sounds nothing like any Rolling Stones ever before it. This is suddenly a grown-up band with up-to-date ideas that are bluesy. There's no psychedelia. And many bands in 1968 were either doing this or trying to do this. The Beatles' White Album is a bit similar to this in that, it's a reinvention of the Beatles. But then again, we all get older, we all change as we grow. And you could make the case that the Stones were just getting older, and changing naturally. I don't think this was prefabricated or pre-contrived in any way or calculated. I think the Stones were just getting older, making a bluesy, acoustic, rock, down-home rock album. Kind of like, when the Kinks did Muswell Hillbillies. Not really like that, but sort of like that. When we're talking about the Rolling Stones, Beggars Banquet, this album just comes out of the blue, people, and shocks people. But then again, you kind of expected back then that one day the Rolling Stones might do this. They might just grow up in a flash and put out an amazing album, like so many bands did. The Who sounded a particular way. They had the Who Sell Out. They had Tommy, Magic Bus and all that. And then all of a sudden, Live at Leeds doesn't sound like any of those. And then boom, Who's Next just hits the scene in 1971, and it doesn't sound like any of those. And, another thing I like about Beggars Banquet, this is before Led Zeppelin. The Stones are mature, grown-up lads, from England, before Zeppelin, before a lot of bands, This is one of the original grown-up albums to hit the Billboard charts, And, there was